Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden, and right off the bat I want to say I'm sorry if I look exhausted. I am exhausted. My family and I just got back from a holiday in Scotland, and when I say just got back, I mean really. So we had, let's see, some sleeping overtime at an airport during a layover. Then we had an 8-hour flight home from London. And we also had a 5-hour time difference during all of this stuff. But I just got back to my garden, and you know, every garden lover misses their garden when they're gone. So what I wanted to do was take you on a stroll through my garden and see the very many things that have changed while I've been gone. Also see how the irrigation is holding up, how the bugs are doing. Let's see if some of my plants have been eaten or not. I haven't taken a look around yet. I wanted to do that with you. All I know is as I looked out my window, I was like, holy cow, things have gotten quite tall. If you look behind me, back by the poolside gardens, I have things that are taller than the fence that were not taller than the fence when I left. One really good thing is I am in zone 8B in southeastern North Carolina, and we had no rain before I left. No rain. Well, during the week I was gone, we had many storms is what I heard, and lots of rain. So not only is my grass tall, but my plants are tall. So let's see what we have going on. I'm just going to turn the camera around. So first of all, I want to start on my back patio, which I don't usually do because I don't have this many things here normally. But I had set out all these plants here, and because they were just my potted items and they were not part of my irrigation, so I had a neighbor looking after them so they could be watered by them. Well, I can see here one of my biggest things that I'm going to have to do everywhere is deadheading, you know, my most favorite job. But even looking at this sweet potato vine, it's like I cannot believe even how big that has gotten. So that's crazy. I have tomatoes and I have peppers, so that stuff is all looking good. I have a little bit of deadheading on the geranium to do, but not too bad. Holy, well, the mums, I knew that was going to happen anyway, but lots of deadheading to do on this guy. My first Fiesta hibiscus bloom has come out, which is awesome. This was something that I had overwintered and it looked really raggedy. And now it's starting to perk right up, and I have some new buds on here too, so that's all looking good. No complaints. Now, interestingly, as I spin slowly to not make you ill, back here in this corner I have a hydrangea that has been blooming for a long time, so now it's starting to look a little, you know, past its prime. I have a lot of clipping to do on it, but this hydrangea over here is, oh my gosh, it has gotten so big. It's now up past the window, which was just very unexpected. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this, because this type of the big like mop head big leafed hydrangea tends to suffer from black spot. Now this one in particular hasn't had that problem because it's a baby off of the parent plant, but the parent plant does have that problem, just being too closed in by the fence, and now this one's getting closed in by the house. So we'll see what happens. But my Hudson Bay hostas are huge and looking amazing. Don't mind the sprinkler here, just sitting there waiting. And my Dolce Wildberry Heuchera over here also looks amazing. So besides that, I have tons and tons of weeds because I never ever worry about this area. And then gorgeous things. My dianthus is looking great. Oh, well, this poinsettia is not looking so wonderful, whereas the one on the other side does look good. But I just realized, now I realize I know what the problem is. It's been sitting in water. Oh, that was foolish of me. This is still its winter wrapper, and it didn't have any drainage in it. So, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My begonias are still looking good and fresh. I have other mums that are there looking good. This is my strawberry sundae hydrangea that I have to still find a permanent home for, but everything else, like look at this. Holy cow, the Diplodenia is amazing. You can see how many blooms have come and gone on the ground during the time I've been away. This caladium's looking amazing, so I have no complaints. This is actually quite hilarious. I hadn't showed you, I think it was in my last video, talking about my Croton pot, how it had all these things that you might mistake for weeds, but I knew that they were dragon's breath celosia, all just had reseeded themselves in here. They've gotten all quite large, so now I'm gonna have to get them out of this pot. Just too funny. Okay, let's see what other goodies we can find. A couple of things. Let's see over here. So there's my hydrangea. It does have some black spotting on it. I see some mixed in there. So we'll see what we can do about that, but all of these expired blooms I'm gonna clip off. The begonias, I mean, between those and even those, they look amazing with no help at all. They just continually bloom, which is nice. This is hibiscus, and let's see, that wasn't too nice. I do have lots of buds on this, even though we're not currently blooming. Oh, and there you are, my stargazers. They were just about to open right before we left for Scotland. I am glad I didn't miss them. They usually bloom, I want to say, for about 2 weeks. So I'm glad I had some time. And this one is also new. I've never had a flower on this because I bought this Texas Red Star hibiscus. This is perennial. It is huge. My fence is 6 feet tall, so you can see this guy's got to be at least 8 feet tall. Let's see if we can get a better look at that bloom up there. Super duper awesome. This is looking gorgeous. And when you look at the ground too, you can see I have missed some of the blooms already. This is the wisteria that I planted, I think it was last fall. And it was just basically little sticks from the one on the other side of my yard. And now look at that. Up the trellis. And we actually have some purple flowers up at the top. Awesome. This is something else that wasn't blooming when I first left. The tiger lilies. They're so cool. I love the tiger lilies because of their very unusual flower blooms, that they really look like they're upside down, and I love that. So I have tiger lilies right beside more stargazer lilies over here, and I'm sad that I missed a bunch of these. I can see a bunch of the spent petals on the ground, and probably the amount of rain and storms we got didn't really help that too much. But the stargazer plant that's over here that we were just looking at, that's just a baby, a division from this mama plant here. So I do have some more around the yard. And then I have my red and orange daylilies. So 3 totally different kinds of lilies all together right here. First time I am seeing this summer. My crepe myrtle here in the middle. All right, let's start walking around the poolside. In my poolside area, right off the bat, I can see still some blooms happening on my perennial hibiscus, the Copper King right there. I have my banana trees that are definitely getting wider, much wider. But look at the glorious oleander. Oh my gosh. I now have so many blossoms on this guy. That just looks amazing from my house. The Luna Rose perennial hibiscus right next to it, well, he needs a lot of deadheading help. You can see how many blooms have come and gone on this plant while I've been gone, not to mention the fact that they're all on the ground as well. And hello, blanket flowers. They are so big and bushy and poofy. Oh my gosh. Let's go around onto the walkway and see. Oh, wait. This is my tropical hibiscus. Nope. the one that stays in the ground for me and stays perennial somehow. No buds on that yet though. These begonias did not make it. They were not part of my irrigation and I didn't move them up to the porch. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Wow, these canna lilies are just, oh my gosh, looking gorgeous. Big, gorgeous. The yellow dipladenia is looking good. Again, just got to deadhead some of that. So let's see. Well, some people have asked me how I don't have that many weeds, and largely I have no explanation for it, except that I weed sporadically, but you can see some weeds starting to come up on the side of my boardwalk here. Okay, so the caladiums. I see it looks like burn hole probably. I had mentioned that when I bought these caladiums, they did not have a label on them, so I wasn't sure how much sun or shade they really wanted. So all the other leaves are looking good though, but except for that one. So I don't know if that's normal or not. This is my first year with the caladiums. This one is looking good, so I really can't complain about it. And then this plant, mostly looking good, but I still have that one that looks burnt. So let's see. This is just a yucca right here. Great, looking good. On this side, just more cannas that are beginning to come up. Nothing really to show. Looking in this direction, these cannas here in front of me, the Bengal tiger, are looking amazing. My elephant ears are getting huge. So just for a size reference, very big. But I know I have a long ways to go. They could get a lot bigger. So again, we got some weeds. So yes, I'm just like everybody else. I get weeds too. It's funny when people ask things like that. How do you keep them all away? Well, I don't know. This kind of weed, whatever the heck that is, I get that everywhere. And then it looks like, I don't know what happened. I had the 2 calla lilies that I had just purchased not that long ago. They apparently didn't like it here because they're gone already. These caladiums, hold on, let's just pop up into the waterfall. Oh my gosh. The mandevilla in the waterfall, they are looking so good. So many blooms. But you can see even weeds pop up here into the waterfall. So I got to take care of that. The pool stayed clear though, so that's really good. This tropical hibiscus still has lots of buds and clearly is blooming, so that's also good. All right, let's see. Let me go back so that my shadow doesn't fall on everything. And I'll go this direction. So yeah, these caladiums, well, again, mixed bag, because look at this leaf. So it's like largely the plants look good, and then you have something on it that doesn't. So again, maybe that's normal. I'll have to look that up. Here's another thing. This is the Autumn Joy sedum. I don't know why I have such a problem with this plant. I have it in one spot and it does well there. That's it. Anytime I try to divide this up and move it to other areas, I have issues and it looks wimpy like this. I thought it liked sun. I don't know. It's suffering somehow. These are all looking good. More cannas that are much taller than I am. We'll get into that and measure that another time. And then more Fiesta hibiscus over here. All looking really good. So coming to this side of the pool, this was my Starry Night perennial hibiscus and I still have buds and blooms and everything looking good. The size is increasing, but again, you can see how many blooms I missed while I was away, and so this one really just needs some help being cleaned up also. And then these cannas, same deal. I always like to cut these off my cannas, so I have some work to do, but largely, whew, I cannot complain at all. Okay, hello. This was something I could see from my window. These banana trees, let's back up as we're looking at them, are getting as tall as my greenhouse. Can you see the greenhouse in the background? So now you can see how tall they are. Yep, much, much taller than even the last time I showed you in a garden tour. How very exciting. Talk about a tropical feel. Looking over to the arborvitaes that are alongside my greenhouse path, let's see what we have happening here. So these were all daylilies in here, all daylilies, and they all look like they're done. I don't know if any of these are rebloomers, so we're gonna see what happens there. I have lots of that cascading sedum in here. It is all looking really good. I do have some minor weeds growing through there, but nothing too big. This is the autumn joy sedum down here. That is the only one I can stay keeping healthy. And this is just a piece of the wisteria hanging down right now, which is a problem because if it comes down and re-roots, that would be an issue. So I'm either gonna have to clip this or get it tied up into the rest of the wisteria. Again, just some deadheading that I have to do. The dianthus there. I have that hosta. Oh, my black-eyed Susans. That was another thing. They were not blooming when I was home. So the black-eyed Susans are now open. There's some open in the back as well. The sunshine ligustrum is just amazing all the time. This is the red coneflower, the red salsa sombrero. You can see the red is fading out a little bit since we started, but this has been, I don't even remember, at least a month this one's been blooming, because I know I said it started way before summer and I was surprised. But my verbena, it's like a twister pink lanai, something like that, that's still looking really good. So I have some deadheading to do on it, but it's not awful, which is good. Dahlia, whoop, that baby needs to be deadheaded for sure. No weeds popping through here though. And my sedum and creeping jenny in my head planter seem to be doing well, so they're getting enough rainwater. The blanket flowers, you can see this is the problem for me. If I get behind deadheading on these blanket flowers, then I'm gonna have way more than I want with those seeds dropping. So we have a lot of bee activity here on my speedwell, but the speedwell, gosh, that has gotten big too. This is hip height for me. These are hip height. Sedum, dianthus, the plant that I never figured out the name of yet that I was given, so I'll figure that out. I have a hydrangea back there, tucked in pretty well into the shade. It looks pretty good and no black spots, which is great. My gorgeous camellia that's here, but I wouldn't expect any blooms because that's for winter. But I see my cherry truffle heuchera not looking good. Not looking good at all. So it's either getting too much sun here or too much water from the irrigation system. So I have two of them and both are looking very sad. I will have to move them or figure out what the problem is before they're completely gone. I don't usually do this style of garden tour or even walkthroughs where I'm having the camera facing away from me. Can you let me know in the comments if you like this style of video filming or if you like it better when I'm in the shots and I get into the garden and I'm up close and personal with the plants? Really curious to know which one comes across better. Outside of my fence line, let's see, this is looking a little overgrown and I can see some weeds in here. This is the primrose that's all in here though, so it looks kind of weedy and it's even gotten up into the yucca there, but that's all my own. So I have Russian sage and the Joe Pie weed. Those are both given to me from my in-laws and my parents last summer from their gardens. My cannas, these ones here, not quite as tall as the fence, but they're getting there. Way more of the tiger lilies. These were also just separations from the parent plant on the other side. Trying not to get too high here with the sun. So we have the magnolia tree that starts this flower bed and then goes off into the peninsula. So that's where we were outside the fence, and there's the magnolia tree. So if we take a look at the peninsula garden here, let's see what we have that's looking good or not, etc. So let's start from the magnolia and work our way forward. So more tiger lilies. Again, I'm a humongous fan of dividing my plants because there's another stargazer as well. Cannas. The liriope that are in the front, that lines my whole front peninsula garden. These cannas all need some help cutting back all those spent blooms. There are seeds inside of here, but I don't really need more seeds because I have a lot of them. They're right there. Blanket flowers. Again, just bushing out and getting huge and spreading, and oh my gosh. Now, these little echinaceas, my double scoops, my double scoop bubblegum and my double scoop raspberry, they are both looking sad. Not getting as big as I would want them to, so that I don't like. I do have some verbena here. This is a creeping style. And lots of blanket flowers that just find their way all throughout my plants. Quite a mix in here of the primrose, the blanket flowers. I do have a pincushion back here, but it's getting just kind of lost. It needs to be deadheaded so we can see the purple blooms. And I just want to clean up some of these extra seedlings. I can see some of the evening primrose back here that is actually still in bloom. That's been since, I don't even know, March. The Luna Rose hibiscus here as well. Again, just really needs to be cleaned up. These cone flowers, just looking a little bit past their prime. Not ready to be deadheaded though, in my opinion, so I'm leaving them alone. These cone flowers, not as vibrant as they were at the start of the season, but a little deadheading on those. The black-eyed Susans, again, I had not seen any blooms prior to going to Scotland, so that's looking great. The mums, and there's salvia tucked in back here. Now, here's my big weed problem. This is the dollar weed. Oh, it's so vicious. The dollar weed gets everywhere in my garden, and that's something I really have to keep control of. Here is my crepe myrtle, and look, my crepe myrtle has actually begun to bloom. That is clearly brand new. I had not seen any flowers on this either, so it's great. I'm so happy. The ones that I have come in different shades of pink and magenta. So here I have my lavender. It's still looking good. And my black and blue salvia is still looking amazing. My decorative grasses. Some phlox, some other salvia down here. Everything's pretty good. I mean, just needs a little bit of help with the deadheading. Artemisia, yes. And I know a lot of people have Artemisia. But that looks good. And this verbena looks good. Okay. So mostly I feel pretty good about all of this. So these shrubs back here are the kaleidoscope abelia. They're of course amazing. They look great. In front of this rock though, that is that Grace Ward Lithidora that I said was really suffering because of I don't know. The change happened when the irrigation was installed, so I'm assuming that's what the problem is. But it turned out that I had 4 of them and they're all dead. So that did not work out for me at all. But I can't complain because I have so many other great things that are happening in here. So whatever. This verbena is obviously still blooming, but I have a lot of deadheading I have to do on that. It just gets brutally hot up here in my front, especially in the afternoon. And this is my little lime punch hydrangea. Oh my gosh, that looks great. Oh, I'm thrilled because those flowers were just starting to come out right before I left. As we look this way, you can see how like my front entryway really looks so sweet. Between the hydrangeas here, then the lantana here, and then the diplodenia in this pot right here. Oh my gosh, I love the statement that really puts together for my front walkway. So I would say that all in all, I have nothing to complain about. My irrigation did pretty well. I don't see bug damage. Really, my biggest problem, more than weeds, is my deadheading issue. And that is absolutely to be expected. I am thrilled that I had trustworthy people to come by and take care of my potted plants as well as my pets inside. And I could go away and feel like my garden was really looked after. So I have not even had any time to look through my footage that I've taken of Scotland. Like, I visited the Botanic Gardens, I visited some private gardens and some other things. It is truly interesting to see places that are in a different climate than you. Oh my goodness, just to see what some of the differences are, but what some of the similarities are too. Anyway, I'm thankful to be home now, back with my plants and my flowers, after having an amazing trip and having made great memories with my family. I wish everybody happy days ahead, and until next time, happy planting.